Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Halo Forge Epidemic. This is SirThomas, and today we'll be discussing Dominion base design. Now if you guys haven't checked out my first video, Dominion Basics, I recommend you do so. And if you need help setting up the game type on your map, be sure to check out Psychoduck's Dominion tutorial. Now today we'll be focusing on three main points. We'll be discussing segmentation, verticality, and objective drops. Now the first thing you'll notice as you look at Bravo and Vortex is that it's very segmented. Areas are really split up from each other. So as opposed to being a large open room, Bravo is more like three separate rooms. This allows attackers to attack from multiple areas in order to overwhelm defenders, and it also forces defenders to move about the three sections of the base in order to hold all the entryways. This also allows attackers to anchor themselves in areas and wait for reinforcements. So for example, if a player takes the main lift room, he can then wait for his teammates to come up the lift before he pushes the terminal. This is kind of give and take between attackers and defenders I think is really important. And this is also complemented by the natural verticality of Vortex. Given the fact that Bravo is elevated above the rest of the map, gives it those sight lines on Alpha and Charlie, thus creating the Bravo dilemma, and also allows for the lifts that allow players to quickly reinforce their teammates. This is also complemented by smart objective drops. We have a Bravo objective drop just out here by Alpha, as well as one inside just by the capture terminal and one by Charlie. Now it's important to note that the one inside the capture terminal really rewards players for holding the base, while the other two outside have some element of risk involved when taking them. This also allows attackers to grab those same objective drops if defenders don't quickly take them. This is how I believe risk and reward is implemented in Dominion. Now of course there's two main matchmaking drop sets. The Promethean drop set, used on the Promethean maps Meltdown and Vortex, shown here. And of course the human drop set used on Longbow, Exile, and Shatter. I feel that it's important that forgers at least initially stick with these drop sets, so they can compare their maps to the matchmaking set, and it also allows players playing your map to have a consistent idea of what kind of drops they'll be getting. Now as we move on to Forge examples, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Yardbird 92's Dom V5. Now of course we have a objective drop just outside the front door, and this is his Alpha base, and it is kind of an interesting multi-tiered setup. He has his capture terminal inside on the second level, with of course an objective drop near it, and several windows overlooking the main entryways, as well as the two main entryways which are segmented from each other. This essentially allows attackers to approach from the lower levels and fight their way up, and essentially anchor themselves on the exterior of the base as they push into the main room. And of course, attackers are rewarded with objective drops for being aggressive, and defenders are rewarded with the same drops for being defensive. Now as we look at the Bravo base on Unwanted Soul's Outpost map, he has a neutral objective drop just out the front door, and of course two main balconies which allow sightlines on Alpha and Charlie, and a lift up into the main terminal room. His two main entrances are segmented, similar to Vortex, which allows players to push one side or the other to overwhelm defenders. And he of course has a handy drop down just on the top, and of course an objective drop just by the left door. Now of course, given the verticality of this structure, it has sightlines on Alpha and Charlie, thus creating the Bravo dilemma. And of course his final objective drop is just on the top level. This is also complemented by the natural ridge that connects to the structure, allowing players easy access to the top level. Now we're looking at Mexican Tortoise 7's Scrapyard map, and he has an objective drop just out in the front in kind of a risky area, mainly for an attacker, but it's also protected by a turret. And this map is incredibly vertical, and this is his Charlie base, and it's a little different from the other bases that I've shown you because it's not segmented by walls or rooms, but more so segmented by the vertical nature of the structure. As opposed to moving to different areas of a room or different rooms, you're moving up and down levels to keep defenders on their toes and of course attackers out of the base. So guys, here's just a few examples of how verticality and segmentation work on these maps. And I'll bring you more tutorials, of course, in the future. Be sure to subscribe, guys, and thanks for watching.